Okay, so let's go. Hello, I'm Aurelien Pupier. I'm working at Red Hat, and I'm developing Eclipse plugins for several years now, and I'm really interested in all quality, software quality, and so on. So today we will talk about testing your Eclipse plugins. So I will directly jump to show you how I was doing it for years. So I'm in my IDE. I just modify a bit of code. You can hear me like that also? Sorry. And if I modify my code, and I don't know, I extract some stuff, that's fine, and I say, okay, I modify several things, and I need to launch my test because I'm not sure that, I want to ensure that I don't break anything, so I go to my test, and I hit Alt-Mat XP or launch as GUnit plugin test, and so I launch it. So okay, I see that it is launched, and I wait it, and yeah, it takes a bit of time. So I will try to optimize my time and don't wait for it. So I will go to watch a bit of video. I don't know if you know, but in Toulouse, this is a very nice salsa place, and there are a lot of nice salsa dancer. And here, this is a dance they are doing radar. They are all together on switching partners, and this is very nice. And when I'm starting to doing that, I will look the video until the end, but not today. But this is what happens in reality. And okay, so I finished my video. I switch back to my IDs. There are some tests, some error. Okay, but okay, my tests are okay. So I can continue to work on my task, and I go to my Java class, and okay, I need to remember what I was doing. So yeah, I lost a lot of time. So. What happened here is just that I know that I have several seconds, and so I just try to optimize my time and do other stuff. It can be watching video or others, but this is something that it is very common, and we know it for when we are developing our application, that it is important for the user, the response time. So I made some tests, and on my own application, if I launch one very easy test as a GUnit plugin with the workbench, it takes 30 seconds. If I launch it in headless mode in order to go a bit faster, but still as GUnit plugin, it takes me 15 seconds. But if I launch them in plain GUnit, when I can, it takes me far less than 1 second. And it is really important because if we look to some UX response time limits and theory, after 1 second, if the user is waiting for more than 1 second, the user flow of thought is broken. You will have to reconcentrate on what you were doing. You will be bored waiting for it, so you're not very happy. It's okay, but not very happy. But in our case, you are even in more than 10 seconds. And what does it mean? It means that you completely lost the user attention, and the user will go doing something else. He will try to optimize his time. He will go checking emails. He will go shoot his friend with Nerf. He will go take a coffee break. He will check some Facebook page, or he might still stay at the same place, but just think about something else. and after he will have to reconcentrate on what he was doing at the beginning. So what I want when I develop, I launch my test, I really want to be able to stay focused on what I am doing. So what does it mean in our case? It means that I really need a very fast feedback from my test directly into my IDE. I want to ensure that my tests are running, but I want it in less than a second in order to stay focused. So the idea is that to use plain GUnit test as far as possible, and don't use GUnit plugin test every time. We will use it only for the integration test, but for a lot of things, we can use just GUnit test. If I test just a validator, just internal stuff of my plugin, if I am at a class level, I can do a lot of tests as GUnit. So I wanted to do that, and I tried to search a bit. There are several possibilities to do that, but there is no real consensus of what is the best way to do that. There is no real built-in stuff inside the IDE to do that. So I tried to investigate each of the possibilities and see what are advantages and drawbacks, and I will explain you what are they, what I found. So there are 4 main possibilities. 2 of them are using the test inside the same plugins, and 2 others are using different bundles for the test. But let's go in details for each of them. So for the first case, you start with your nice plugin, classical plugin, and what you will use is a GUnit library. So you will add a GUnit library, which is available built-in in Eclipse, and you will add your source folder directly inside your plugin. So like that, you will have access to everything in plain Java in your plugin. So it's cool. You have when you produce your plugin at the end, you can easily remove all the parts that are the test part. So you have a clean runtime. What is hard is that there is no easy way to add other third parties libraries for testing. We have a built-in way to do it for the GUnit plugin, GUnit dependencies. But if you want to use Mockito, EasyMock, SRG, your own test libraries, because you are building some data sets that you want to reuse in several tests, you can't add it easily. So this is a great pattern if you want to, if you have really small tests only based on GUnit. It is great because the build time stays quite the same than before. It is also a way to test fragments easily, because you don't need to put dependencies on it, as you can't easily on Fragment. So let's go to the second architecture, the second possibilities. So again, you start with your nice Eclipse plugin, and what you will do is to use optional dependencies. In your manifest, you will put the require bundle on all your test dependencies, and you will declare them as optional. Like that, at runtime, you don't need to have these dependencies, but if you provide them in your test, they will be available. And like that, you will be able to keep everything in the same bundle again. So It's really more convenient to deal with third parties. With Mockito, you can add all your third-party dependencies easily like that. The downside is that you pollute your runtime. The required bundle with optional will be in the runtime plugin when you will build it. So it's not, so it pollutes the runtime even if it works, even if you don't have the dependency. So this way, I was using it in a precedent project, and it was working fine. But also it is because it was an RCP application that no one is extending, and we were only few working on it. So we were able to manage these dependencies with optional. It wasn't a problem for us. And this way it was very flexible to do stuff. So the third one is using a fragment for your test. So again, you start with your nice plugin, and you will add a fragment depending on this plugin, and this fragment will be will contain all your test class, and you will be able to add the dependencies in this fragment quite easily. So like that, you really have a clean runtime. At runtime, you just don't put the fragment, and that's cool. You have access to everything that is in your plugin because you are a fragment. You can add your third-party dependencies as required bundle easily, and they don't affect the runtime. The downside is that you will increase your build time because you will have a new bundle to build, and the Tycho resolution dependency will take a bit of time. So the downside is, yeah, more build time, more complexity to maintain it, and also you won't be able to test fragments. It is, from my point of view, perhaps the most powerful way of doing it if you keep a clean runtime. So we are currently trying it in my current project. Time will tell if we are happy with it or not. But yeah, that's for now the most powerful with clean runtime. So a last way of doing that is to use a test plugin, because when we talk about fragments, some people just say, no, we don't want fragment, it's too complicated. So you can use test plugin, and in this case, you will also put all your third dependencies only in your test plugin, so it doesn't affect the runtime. But on the other side, in order to access the package that are in the plugin under test, you will have to export a package with X frames in order that you don't increase the API and that your test plugin can see it. So this way it pollutes a bit your runtime, but it's really easy to add third-party dependencies and so on. There is also the downside that you don't have access to package scoped stuff because you are in a different plugin. If you are with fragments, you have access to it. But using a test plugin can have another advantages is that it will be easier to merge, to use the same plugin with different source folder and specific configuration to have a single test plugin for your unit test and your integration test. So maybe you might want to take a look to this kind of architecture. So yeah, so there are 4 main architectures. All of them are advantages and drawbacks. I'm still not sure what is the best way. Perhaps there is something more to something to improve in the PD itself or Tycho, but it will be a further discussion. And yeah, I just want to emphasize that all tests are important. Today I talk about unit test. I mean tests that you want to test what is inside your plugin. You don't see your plugin as a black box and test only the API. You want to test validators that are inside the internal behavior inside your plugin, which is really convenient when you are doing, for instance, test zero in development. But yeah, we focus on unit tests, but you also need after to keep some integration tests and so on, keep your run as JUnit plugin test, but you will write less of them if you start writing more unit tests, I think, keeping the same quality at the end. So now I will make a little demo of what is it inside your workspace. So for that, I started a little GitHub repo in order to, with the 4 architecture, in order to show how to configure it, because there are some little tricks that are quite hard to find. When you find it, you say, okay, it's really easy, but it was not that easy to find. And I will show you also usage of some tooling, MoreUnit, InifiniTest, and just a word about Eclipse, that are tools that are available for every project, and I will show you how you can use it also for your JUnit, for your plugin test. So let's go. So the first thing is I will just show you how to configure the JUnit library. I'm not sure. It doesn't work in mine. Last time I tried. It's font. Okay. I don't know how to change it easily. Okay, try that. Okay, sorry, it's not very important to see all the text. I just, so yeah, so I will show you how to add the JUnit library. So yeah, just. So there is the Git repo. I created 4 folders with each architecture inside, based on some Eclipse RCP sample that are available by default. So with user library, in fact, you just have to configure the build path, and in libraries, you can add the library, and there is JUnit. On here, you can see that it is available by default. If you want to add, for instance, Mockito or so on, you will have to create a specific user library, and so it won't be available to everybody. Every developer will have to configure it and so on. So it's a bit complicated. But like that, you have a clean manifest. .mf, as I said, for the dependencies. I don't have the dependencies in the test and so on, but I can launch my test as as GUnit. And it works nicely. I can also launch it as a Maven, and the test will be executed in the Maven phase. So for that, you need to tweak your pom.xml. So we'll open it, and you need to bind the compile execution, the test compile execution to the correct goal in order to have them built at the correct time, and to configure on Maven Sapphire plugin which test to execute during the build phase. And it is important to have what you are executing as a GUnit test in your IDE. It is important to have them also executed as GUnit test in your build. Otherwise, we'll have some false positive because the CI won't detect some modification, and when you will run as a GUnit test in your IDE, it won't work anymore because there is a new dependency to the workbench, or so on, and the CI won't detect it. So yeah, I will show you. So after there is MoreUnit plugin, which is quite useful. When you hit Ctrl-G, you will switch between the class tested on the test class. So that's really convenient to navigate between them. It is built-in, available by default, and if you put everything in the same bundle, but if you are in separated bundle for UTest, you just have to configure a little thing in properties. MoreUnit Java, you need to use project-specific settings and specify that you are using an SRC folder in another plugin. But after this, that it is configured, it is working perfectly. With Ctrl-G, you also have the creation of the class. If a class doesn't have yet a specific unit test class, and it supports by default Mockito and so on. So it's it's a plugin very convenient, mostly for this navigation stuff and this creation. There are some other specificity, but they are the more important with that. So it's MoreUnit. And after, I will show you now when I'm working and I change some code and that I want to test again what is happening. I can, so I did the modification, I save, and now I may launch the test, or maybe I can just look at the bottom left. With InifiniTest, it launches all the related tests to the class that I modified. So I already know that I break something, and I even didn't have to launch any test and think about launching a test. So I was able to really stay focused on my modification, and the tests were already executed. So after that, I can see where is the problem. There is an error, and it jumps directly to the test which is failing. It's explaining why it is failing. So as it is fast, you can also launch the GUnit test to reuse all the classical GUnit view, and you can compare the result and see, oh, okay, there is a space, a missing space. So I can go back and just fix that, and you see that it turns green directly. So for every of this architecture, you can still use Eclema. There is nothing different. So Eclema is a tool for code coverage. So just you launch them with the coverage as, and you will be able to see what is covered, what is not, and all the a more deeper view of what is tested or not in the whole project. Okay. Okay, so I show you a lot of stuff. So there are several possibilities to do to launch GUnit, plain GUnit tests for your Eclipse plugin classes. But they perhaps all seem a bit as a workaround in every mod. So maybe we can leverage more the work in progress about several class paths for GDT, and that PD and Tycho will able to leverage that, and yeah, some ideas I really hope that it will be possible in the future. We can imagine to have some now that with Eclipse 4 you have every access to the workbench and so on. You have access to the Eclipse 4 context, and it will be, I think, much easier to mock all the access to this part and provide some pre-mocked Eclipse 4 context to write this kind of test. I have in mind to have some MoreUnit automatic configuration in case you are using fragments or plugin, in order to automatically detect that there is a test fragment to link them directly when you hit Ctrl-G. And some ideas also to have some continuous test with the UI, because currently if you write your unit test for the UI, it will pop up a lot of stuff, so you need to filter them out from InifiniTest. But yeah, we have in mind to improve that on InifiniTest project. And yeah, I will just encourage you to write more unit tests to have very fast feedback in your own environment. If you have more ideas on how to do it, you can share it also on the GitHub or write more articles, because this is a subject with some old ones and not everything is covered. So I think there's a lack of information on all these subjects. That's why I did this talk. And so yeah, I really hope that we will be able to write easily more unit tests in our IDE for Eclipse plugin in the future. So thank you for your attention. If you have questions, it is now or later. Now is good. Any questions? Yeah.
Hello. It's not so much a question, actually. It's just I had an extra disadvantage that weren't on your slides for having tests in separate projects and fragments. So this is something that happened to us at work a while ago. We have a continuous integration server, and it turned out that some tests weren't being picked up by that continuous integration server because they were in separate projects, and it just didn't know about them. So just an extra disadvantage that you might have.
Yeah. We didn't have this kind of issues. Even if they are separated bundle, we put them in the same repository and building other repositories. So, yeah, but it's a use case that may change the choice of the architecture. No more question? Okay. Thank you.